welcome everyone to CBC TV. Did we do one last week?
No, I think we missed it.
What did we miss a week?
I think we
No,
did.
we did. No,
we did. It was the comics. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, the weekly show for the CBC channel, and as usual, you can follow us anywhere by googling Comic Book Cast and find us absolutely anywhere. You can follow me on Twitter at Mitch692, and once again, I'm joined by Sean.
Yeah, you can join me on Instagram at SeanStudio01 and the real Sean on Twitter, except Charlie Murphy.
Week 2 of Vendetta.
Guy's banned.
It'll be like a whole year later. It's like week 52. Fuck you, Charles Murphy.
I'm a petty person. Like, just petty.
So yeah, there's not a lot today. So I say that every time, and we'll still hit an hour and 15 minutes every time. So to jump right into it, the CW released their first trailer for StarGirl, and yes, I'm calling this a CW show because there is zero DC Universe branding on this thing. It's all for the CW. Kevin Smith called it CW StarGirl, so I'm going with CW StarGirl.
It's official.
Yep. It's.
What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It looks like something I might enjoy. It's a bit cheesy, but it's a show called StarGirl. Wasn't anything but. So it looks better than the Arrowverse stuff. That's all.
Yeah. And it's weird because like they got pretty big stars in this too. Like Luke Wilson is not like a TV guy. I've never seen him on TV except for. I had like looked at it and I was like, "Is that Luke Wilson?" Yeah, that's Luke Wilson. Oh my god,
Luke Wilson. Yeah.
I was like,
It's obviously got some kind of budget behind it because they built like a 20-foot robot for Stripe.
Yeah.
So there's something there. So it might look out of place, like a sore thumb on the CW.
I was gonna say, it looks like it has
really bad CG, and then boom, robot.
It probably has the budget of like all the CW shows put together.
I wouldn't be surprised, to be perfectly honest. No.
Like, it definitely looks like it was meant to be on like an HBO Max or something like that show.
Yeah, definitely.
Why they did put it on there is beyond me.
I think because like it was already delayed once, and I don't think they could have held it off until March to release the HBO Max. Like, it's put on the CW, but.
Yeah, but they could have done what they did with Watchmen and just put it on the CW or the HBO now and just.
It's true. It's very true.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, of course, we're talking about WB, so it's not gonna make sense.
Yeah. No, after all, who releases a streaming service and then a year later not reveal any new content for the second year of the service and spread their exclusive quote content to other places? Only Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't understand what the model is that they're going for because it kind of seems like HBO Max is going to be cannibalizing their own stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's just like I would have just put this show on HBO now instead of CW because it just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb on that network, because of the.
And also, I don't know why the CW. I suppose I know why because they got a decent sized audience for the DC shows, but
does CW have? Do they have any stake in the CW or do they own it? Like the company?
Yeah, they own it.
Okay.
It's owned by AT&T. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm still baffled.
So it makes sense why it's there because obviously it's their own thing, but it's just
it's just like
it's got like a connotation to it.
Well, it's just like I said, it just stands out though. Like it doesn't look. It looks more like well put together than most of the CW shows, anyways. And like, I don't know. I mean, look, I'm pretty. I'll probably sit down and watch a couple episodes to see how it works. I'm not gonna like devote too much time to it, but I probably if it puts me to if it pulls me in, I'll watch it.
I say I'll give it a shot, but after the Trump tweets people have found from the main girl, it's kind of like a shouldn't let it come in, play a part, but I don't know.
See, that's when you got to get those like the publicity people from WB to kind of like take over the Star's Instagram and Twitter page, because once you start opening your mouth and like I ain't saying you can't have your political views, like everybody has that right, but then like you got to realize that you're also might be putting in jeopardy jobs from other people by saying all this stuff,
especially when something's this polarizing. I apologize for the car.
That's all right. I apologize for the kid in the background when it starts talking. So we're even. But yeah, I'm okay.
I was going to make a car joke, but yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Car joke away.
It's fine. No. Like the car itself, it is gone. So.
Okay. I kind of messed up that opportunity. I do apologize. But yeah, I mean, I'm up for it. Trump tweets aside, like
it's just one of those like, oh really? I said your show looked good and you do this to me.
Yeah, it's like just kind of just stop tweeting politics while your show's in their first season, or just like at the end of the season.
In her defense, this was like 2016.
Okay.
But it's still kind of like, if you're gonna get a job, just delete your tweets. No.
Yeah, I mean, haven't we learned from James Gunn? Come on.
Yeah. Just make a new account, make it verified, make that one your private one.
So, fine. Like, what did she say? Like, you know what I'm asking?
She's like, oh, Trump, you're a real star. And it's like, oh, my dad just sent me a video of a fly landing on Hillary. It's like, oh, really?
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 Like, if she would have just stopped at Trump as a real star, I don't think it would have been half as bad.
No, because you could possibly take that as sarcasm. It still could very well be. I don't know. Like, I'm still watched the show, but it's just like,
yeah. I think I mean I'm saying this for all actors. Like once they start tweeting politics, it just kind of ruins everything, because I don't want.
They shouldn't be allowed to tweet politics. I think they should, but it's a rough road.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a very, very. There's a gray area with that, because like you like you're representing that show, so you got to be kind of you got to choose your words really wisely, because like it's not just your job in jeopardy, it's everybody else's.
Yeah.
Like if they find that this person is like being like just belligerent, like they could cancel the show and all those people that work on it gone.
Also, I'm 90% certain the social media team for this doesn't understand the innuendos they're making with this. Yeah. So, she's how she handles Starman's stuff. It's like,
I think I've seen that on a porn description too. So
a lot of people are like, watch it on Pornhub. Like,
StarGirl, the triple X-Men.
It does look.
It looks fun.
I say it looks fun. It looks far better than Titans.
Yeah.
I think it's more Doom Patrol and not Titans.
Yeah, I think my family home videos look better than Titans. So, like, that's not like huge.
That's not difficult. Yeah. But yeah, it's a thing. I'm not sure what the consensus is on the trailer, but
just what do you think? Like, just one more thing. Like, do you think that they're gonna tie this? Like, because it seems like. If it's a CW show, they've got to.
Well, I think the rumor is she's supposed to be appearing in Crisis.
Isn't that over though?
No, it's on a break for a month, and that's another conversation. Why they started Crisis and then stopped for a month? Why not just wait the month?
Yeah, I mean that's another case of just like it's sort of like I think they should have taken a model thing out of what Shield did. Like they. Don't if you're not gonna like show it all together, then don't show it until you can show it, because people's minds are gonna be like there's a lot of things coming up that's gonna keep people's minds off of what Crisis, in the next couple months or next couple weeks, So like, I don't know. I think that's a risky thing, but that's
I think they did it last year as well, and like even then it's like why? Just show it all in 1 week.
Yeah. Just wait. I mean, it's only a month. Like just show it when you can, and don't like split it up. That it's different if you split it up like a week or two, but like you're talking about like almost 4 weeks, and I don't know. It's kind of risky.
But no, like the whole Titans being in Crisis, even though like that was just literally a scene spliced from the scrap
run
season 1 finale.
I was gonna say that's a cutting room floor type.
Yeah. So, oh, we can't figure this out, right? We'll put a red filter on it to cancel out the blue, so you can actually see them, and we'll just splice the footage around and then put an effect over the top of it. Done.
Done. It's connected.
Yeah. So you know what? Fair play. You got it in there. No, that's
so. Do you think
more than enough reason to say she'll be in this for certain?
So you think from like here on in, like all these, I'm surprised they didn't do the Doom Patrol. That's the weird part for me. Like that would have been like a no-brainer.
That's
like,
true. That's true. Maybe HBO Max was kind of like,
no way. No, we don't want anything connected to that either.
The showrunners don't even want to be connected to Titans. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I only seen the first episode of The Crisis. I was like, okay, I get it. It's cool.
I
looks
watched
good.
none of it because honestly, like, it might be good. I don't know, but I have no interest in watching a show. So
yeah, I just saw the first episode out of curiosity, and I was like, it looks fun, but it's like when it gets down to it, it's not really Crisis because. Like, it's just all the CW people getting together. It means absolutely zero to me because I don't have any interest in it after that.
I said I got no attachment to these characters, so
I'll just read the Wikipedia page and be done with it.
Well, so they didn't put Conroy in the Batsuit, so
yeah.
That's the only reason why I might have watched it, but he was there. You can now officially say Conroy is the best live-action Batman, so at least that's something that came right from CW.
Very positive, but other than that, like I saw I don't know, bits and pieces of it on YouTube. The Smallville one, I hated that one.
I've seen a lot of people be like 50-50 on that one.
I don't know, like there was just something about it that just kind of like, okay, so you're telling me like, because I kind of watched that show. And then like you're gonna tell me that means absolutely nothing. just to tell me that the guy gave up everything. Spoiler alert.
I mean, to be fair, people have seen it. If people wanted to care that much, they would have watched it by now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was kind of anticlimactic to me. I did like.
But there's a Superman story where he does that, isn't it? Isn't that what happened to the Man Tomorrow or something like that?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess there's merit to it, but it just. To me, I didn't like. It just felt kind of like a throwaway, just to have that character back. I mean, just to get what's his face back and Tom Welling. I think it would have been cooler if they would have put him in the suit because that's what everybody wanted to begin with. It just feels like they pulled the flannel out of the closet.
From an outside view. I know this is way off topic. It's StarGirl related. It's adjacent, really. I But like, it does feel weird because didn't Smallville end with him just getting the suit, and then the next time you see him, he's got no powers.
He's back on the flannel, and now he's back in the flannel. Slightly pudgier in the flannel. I don't. I did like Brandon Routh. That was probably like
he's Kingdom Coming.
Yeah. I did like the way he looked. I don't know about like I seen the clips on YouTube and stuff like that. Other than that, it was just it's another CW event. I still hate Black Lightning's costume though.
Oh God, don't get me started now.
Still hate that costume, and I'm like,
we'll end on the Black Lightning crappy costume because
that was terrible. Has nothing to do with StarGirl.
StarGirl looks decent. I hope for the best. No.
Well, I mean, like it's the budget, you can tell. And
they definitely put some money behind it, and hopefully this kind of gives Johns a bit more of a redemption within Warner Brothers. Be like, hey, look, people like my show.
Yeah, like everybody hates your shows,
and people liked my episode of Titans because it was the only good one in season 1.
Yeah.
Also, lol that at the Titans season 2 finale just to get for them to be killed off in Crisis anyway. So. Not that that's going to affect the show proper, but
kind of a mic drop,
It's still funny. It's just like, oh, they all died anyway. It's fine. To move on.
Yeah. My forte.
Yeah, the reason Sean's on the show, let's be honest.
Yeah. Basically my only reason to be here.
He has a purpose and he serves it very well. So Marvel TV is it officially absorbed, or is it just getting absorbed?
I mean, technically, still, it was been absorbed since
for a
couple months now.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say a couple of months.
Unofficially, it's absorbed, but like we've already. It's like I seen this article, and I just commented. I was just like, "This is old news." Like
is that the Slash film one? I think I saw it now.
Yeah, I said it's old news. Like people were talking about this as if it hasn't been talked about, hasn't been,
I say it was kind of. I'm not sure if it was said outright but it was very heavily implied when the whole Kevin Feige thing came out. It's like, oh yeah, obviously it's not really existing anymore.
Yeah.
But...
And then like I got a bunch of like at least 100 messages saying, "Is your job okay?" And I was like, yeah, I think we've talked about this like a million times. I don't work for Marvel Television anymore. Like I would work for Marvel Television for at least, I don't know, like 3 months, So yeah, I mean, it's officially, it is absorbed into Marvel Television. Loeb and like a bunch of other people are going to get laid off.
I was gonna say it's the unfortunate part of it. Like it's always gonna have layoffs because you're gonna have people doing the same thing. So what's the point?
And plus, like he's been ready to retire for like a year or two.
Yeah.
Ever since this whole Netflix thing, he was going to retire.
I think Netflix and Humans would make anyone retire. I reckon.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. But like there's like most of the people are pretty much staying into late January, early February to kind of like help everybody bridge the gap. And then like, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's always like when stuff like this happens, it's not just with Disney. It's happening with every major company.
It's every company, yeah.
And like, like you said, there's like you can't have two people doing the same job. That's just redundant and like expensive, So
exactly.
It's. I mean, like it's a no-brainer. Once Feige took over, it was like there was the road was laid years ago with what was happening with Netflix. It was rumored in our work to be happening anyways. It wouldn't officially start until the first of last year. That's when people started. It started like officially starting to happen. Like once the Netflix stuff was like being solved, that's when everything kind of
kicked in.
So everything started kicking in, and like whether those shows come back or not, once that deal with Netflix ended, that's pretty much the end of Marvel Television.
And the Netflix show's always kind of like a testing ground anyway.
Yeah. For the most part, it was just like to see if the characters are viable, see if they could do it. It's just sometimes it wasn't as great as as they wanted it to be, but
that's everything in life.
Yeah. For the most part, that's exactly what Netflix Marvel's partnership was like, hey, we want to see how this works. We want to see how this could work for us. And then like the Disney Plus thing was like in the works for years. Years. I mean, like they were talking about their own streaming service, I think well before the Netflix stuff was debuting, So like this is, I mean, I say old news, but it's just been it's
old news for you when you're internal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, but like even to people that have read articles about like when Feige took over, I mean, the writing. I mean, they. I don't know if
it was already kind of implied. Like I don't think it really needed to be said.
Yeah.
But the trades decided to say it anyway. So hey, it's a news bit on the show because otherwise it's just be StarGirl and the TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that this is happening regardless because of like the opportunities are like for other characters. You wouldn't be getting Moon Knight. I mean, you would have been getting Moon Knight, but like you probably wouldn't get Moon Knight on the budget that we're going to be having Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So
they know there's an audience now that wants these kind of shows.
Yeah.
So you haven't got to worry about playing with the budget and then putting it out there and hope for the best because you have the audience now who wants these shows. So you can give it a budget.
Well, and also like you can like I think the Netflix stuff is kind of the unsung hero for all these shows coming because
it doesn't get the credit it deserves for it, but
well, and plus you wouldn't be got like they would have not gone after the rights for Namor and She-Hulk. That would have been like not happening if they would have like if the shows didn't prove to be worth doing, they wouldn't have gone after him and gotten him back.
Now, is it just She-Hulk or is it Hulk in general?
It's, from what I know, it's the whole Hulk, like the library, like everything.
Which would make sense, seeing as she's very heavily tied to a lot of Hulk stuff.
And like, they figure that Universal hasn't done anything. Like they haven't really, there's nothing happening with it. Yeah. With the characters, so they're not. The rights are just kind of sitting there because we can use them. We just can't use them in a movie without Universal. They have to approve it. Yeah, but I mean, it came at a lower cost than what's going to happen with like the Daredevil stuff because like it's just the what do they call it the distribution.
He's got to read his NDA quickly.
Yeah.
Just like,
but
I can say this.
No, but like the Hulk and Namor stuff was a lot easier to obtain because of the fact it's not like they could just like Universal could go out and just make a movie.
Yeah, it's like didn't they only have the rights to first refusal?
First refusal, yeah, that's it. There's nothing like we make the movie, they get the rights to distribute it. Yeah. So now it's just like we can just make the movie if we wanted to, or the TV show. So like all this kind of happened because of the Netflix stuff. So like it's kind of
a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, but it's not all doom and gloom when it comes to this stuff because like we got Charlie Cox and like the role, and he's being actively pursued to continue that role. So like is
he being pursued? I can't imagine he'd be
not
pursued over that. He kind of like he's more just like I'm here.
Oh no, yeah, he is so game for like him, Bernthal, everybody that was involved in these shows. I think with the exception of Kidder, God, I'm having a brain for it. Kristen Ritter. She doesn't want to do anything full time.
Yeah, which is understandable, like
baby on the way,
yeah.
But like the character,
I forgot about the baby. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah.
And like the character, I felt like kind of had a good ending to the, like there was kind of a plot hole. I mean, plot thread hanging, but like.
I say there's a plot thread there that can easily be tied up into like a Daredevil show. Like you can bring that background in there,
or Heroes for Hire stuff. Or whatever,
there's that. Yeah.
Whatever. But like, I think her character ended really well for her. I don't think it's necessary to bring her back in a full-time capacity.
Yeah.
But like, I think we're mainly focusing on Cox. Yeah, and Vincent D'Onofrio and all the people that were involved in Daredevil stuff. That's the
Daredevil specific cast.
Yeah. That's like literally the number one priority right now because like there's a market for it and it's it's a proven market for like and there's like a 90% chance this all could fall into place. You guys just pray, sign that petition that saved Daredevil, man. We're not actively involved with that SaveDaredevil.org stuff, but like we are for it. We're pretty much like, hey, we want to show these. It has worked because now Feige has noticed this. And like he loves Cox in his role. That's a huge plus right now because like. You got the guy that's involved and like makes decisions on what is being made and what's not being made. That loves the actor, loves the character, loves the direction that they put the character in 3 seasons. So I mean, it's just like a couple speed bumps here and there, for that show, and I think it would be back, But,
well, I imagine it will be. I can't see.
Yeah,
anything can happen, but I think for the most part, it's like
it's. I think that's. I don't know if they're smart in the upper management, they will bring this character back with the actor.
They are.
We say really are. I'm not saying that they're not smart, but like this is people are like clamoring for.
I say it's been a year and people still talk about Daredevil.
Yep. And people are still talking about Charlie Cox being the best representation of the character.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all the shows, that is, I think, the absolutely gold standard. And that's like, I think if they're smart, they'll bring that same
same theme.
And I think it would be a really huge backlash if they decided, I think we're going with another person in another direction.
I honestly don't know if I would watch a reboot of Daredevil.
Yeah, I think it's a lot to ask fans, especially
even after 5 years, it's kind of like get rid of that thing that was horrendous, and thank God Miss Marvel was here to save the day. But it's a big ask to get people to watch all these shows and then reboot everything.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a slap in the face if they don't at least because we are considering that, we are talking about it's always being talked about. Every time I talk to people, it's always on the conversation. It's all I think in the last 5 months that the last 5 meetings in the last 5 months, that topic has been in conversation.
Yeah.
So it's been an active conversation. So it's not going away anytime soon. I think it would be kind of jarring to see somebody else play that character again. And you already have a built-in fan base for that character and for that actor. So if you're smart, you want to continue to add to that foundation.
And it's like, I can live with like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, whatever they bring them all back, whatever. Being on Disney Plus with a slightly lower rating.
Yeah.
You can go like the Mandalorian route. You haven't got to see 10 gallons of blood pour from a guy's head slammed by a door. That's not necessary. That wasn't what made Daredevil good.
No, it was compelling storylines.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Disney. You want all the money. Put them on Disney Plus. It's a massive that fan base has probably got Disney Plus anyway in the States.
I guarantee you this, and I'll put a whole salary on it that if they come out and then I don't know, like March or February or whatever, and I'm just throwing out months, but if they put that out saying Charlie Cox, Daredevil on D Plus, 2021. I guarantee you this.
Sub numbers would lie.
It would go through the roof.
Yeah.
Because that's how much people want that guy back in that character. And it's a big rarity that actor wants to do that. Because he's not.
It also legitimizes everything.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a bigger. So they are officially canon. You're gonna get all those headlines and marketing. It's just like
there's a lot of positive. There's a lot of positivity that comes along with putting that person back in. That character. Whether we have, because we have contingency plans saying, hey, if we don't get these episodes, the back catalog of episodes back, we can always rebrand the show and bring back the character with the actor.
Yeah. And just Incredible Hulk, the intro, and have everything. Kind of like what the Raimi Spider-Man did, just have the opening credits as a recap.
Yeah. And sure, it's advertising the other company, sure. But people will want to see more, the newer adventures of this character versus you can only see three seasons, 30 episodes? Then you have to go forward, right? With the character, so you have to go to D+.
I say it's advertising it, but it's a very limited run.
Yeah, and it's a very short revenue boost to have that character. Because nobody everybody I'll go back and watch the seasons because I got I have them digitally. So
yeah.
But I mean, other than that, if you tell me that in 2021. There's 10 new episodes coming my way.
And one of them has Moon Knight in it. Because why would you not put that in there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then the positivity of that, you get, we have the character, we have Spider-Man, we have these characters. They want to see these characters team up. Daredevil Spider-Man thing is I'm sure it's trending at some point.
That's such a moneymaker. Like,
and it's a no-brainer. And they kind of have a short, limited time window with that because of the Sony thing.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what's going to go on beyond those, those pictures after that. Like.
Well, fun fact: Daredevil will be back before that team-up movie that contract. So who knows? It could be a Team Red movie.
It could be.
You put like Deadpool and Daredevil in it.
And then what I'm excited about that show coming back is the budget behind the show
will be a lot bigger.
Yeah, and it's gonna be, like, I mean, look, dude, I think I've showed you the picture of that prototype helmet.
Yeah.
I would love to see something. I want to see that costume evolve, and that's what the costume was going to do in season 4: evolve into more of a recognizable version of that suit. So yeah, I mean, it sucks waiting, but I think it's just a matter of time before it happens.
Now, also with this, the trade said that production on what's currently in development will carry on, but nothing after that. Which it makes sense. So,
I mean,
this whole what's it called? Journey to Fear. Is that what Loeb called it? Like, I think it's safe, or at least from my perspective, it's safe to say that it's only Hellstrom and nothing else.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Like, Hellstrom,
it's just going to be a one and done. No.
Yeah, I mean, unless it does really good, like then they could automatically integrate it into that universe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There was a lot of hiccups between that, like the dissolving of Marvel Television and now. So like there was a lot more stuff going on. Like the Ghost Rider thing would have been, I don't know. It's just there's a lot of, like, in this business, like, things shift in like seconds.
Yeah.
So I'll get like an email saying one thing, and like within either the end of the day or the beginning of the next day, I got an email saying something completely different. Like I don't get excited for stuff until I know it's in production.
Yeah. Until you've seen it been filmed, and even then it's like, it could get cut out.
Yeah. So like, I mean, it was the natural like thing. Marvel Television,
it was still going to happen.
Marvel TV. Why keep the studio split when you can just merge it all under one person that can make? Because like that was the biggest problem with when we were working on those Netflix shows. Like chain of command is like, well, you got to talk to him, and him, and they all have to sign off and say this is what's got to happen before we can do it. So
and now you just talk to him.
Yeah, we just talk to him. And then after that, we can get the ball running a lot sooner, because like it was a chore, man. Like, like they get you excited for all the stuff that they want to do, but then we can't really do anything or announce anything because we don't have the green light, it sometimes kind of depressing because you would,
you want all this stuff and you can't get it.
Yeah. I mean, like seeing the dry board of all the characters that they wanted to do and what they had to, the go ahead to do it, but then we had to talk to it was just like,
is that dry board still there?
No, it's gone.
Oh, damn, I was going to say, since it's all defunct now, can you get the picture? Click. This is
but like, and then you talk to them, then you had to talk to Netflix, and then like that's another. God,
you now put a third party in with everything else, like
because like they had to they had to be involved with it. The decision making process. So that was a chore. Like just when you get the okay from the people that you're involved with, you have to go to another person that has nothing to do with you, that doesn't always take calls right away. Like I think I sent like, and I'm not lying, like 50 emails or 20 calls. Nobody. Can you please get back to me? And like I would be sitting there for like a week waiting for this person to get back to me, and it's like. I wish I could just talk to one person and do this. Like it's just it was really frustrating, and I think it just takes a lot of the load off of people's plate. I don't know. It has been less stressful. I can tell you that. Not much more, but it has been a lot more, like a lot less stressful to know that I can just talk to a couple people and then within a week it can be done probably.
Yeah, the hair's starting to grow back now. It's not that stressful.
The ball spots no longer there. So
Nothing's receding.
Yeah, I don't have like hives or anything like that, or like ulcers coming in. Like I'm not lying, man. Like I used to get like pain, like heartburn, because it was just stressful, man. Because like you know that once something was like, hey, we're gonna try to do this, we're trying to work on this, but we need to talk to these people. So it's like you're looking at it, you're like, you just look at a list of people that you have to call to talk to verify with. You know, it was just like, and none of these people are going to answer at the same time. So like, you're just getting like, I don't know. It was, let's put it this way. It takes months of talking to people before they can make a decision, and then we get started. So that was like, it was just like, and that goes with like storylines too. I mean, like, you know, I don't know. It was just ulcer, you know, like I'm glad that, I'm glad I don't have to like, ulcers. I used to go to Costco to get like the big Pepto-Bismol things. Now I don't have to do it.
That's money saved on Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
It's more Hot Toys. Yeah.
That's another ulcer.
Yeah. So yeah, Marvel TV no more.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
That's going to be my thumbnail. Marvel TV no more.
R.I.P. But the resurrection of, you know, like it's for the best. I think people will enjoy the stuff that, you know, I don't know, you know.
like the Phoenix, it ain't done yet. It might be done in name, but it's still carried on.
Yeah, we're not like WB where we have to deal with, like, you know, I don't know.
Some weird decisions. Yeah. Weird decisions over there.
We have weird decisions, but they make sense at least, you know. So.
Speaking of making sense, my segue. Now, I hope and pray you watch this episode.
Oh, I did.
Thank God. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Watchmen, episode 7.
Yeah.
Fine. I think the episode everyone needed.
Yeah.
And I think kind of everyone was expecting to happen in the show. Not how they did it, but kind of like, oh, this is, you know, it's a Watchmen show. Of course you're going to have Dr. Manhattan in it.
It was just a question of when that guy was going to show up.
Now, I didn't put the pieces together as to who it was. I think I said that last week.
I didn't.
So yeah, Manhattan was the husband, indeed. They did some weird like amnesia trick on him.
Yeah, that it kind of made sense how they did it, but like my biggest thing was like, this is like a Una god, you know, like he's basically an Uber god, and like, how did you get the opportunity to put that in him? You know?
I like that they just completely sidestep how he made it, and he was like, "Oh, this is Plan A." I think you read in the book that's Plan B. B for blowing you up. This is A for amnesia. I love that bit.
Yeah, the only thing that I have that kind of was jarring, and it's not a negative for me. It's just kind of jarring. It made sense. I honestly thought like the Manhattan character would be like a different person, and like it kind of threw me for a loop when I seen his eyes, and I could see the actor underneath the makeup. It was just like, I kind of get it, but then it's kind of weird to see eyeballs in Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, it was. A part of me was like, can we just put the foggy contacts on him?
Yeah, or just CGI. I mean, like the CGI over the eyes or something. Yeah. You know, something.
It's like they had him glow and had the eyes glow, fine, but like just. And I get what they did. It's a whole like, you know, he's just come out of the amnesia. He's just remembered he has powers. Obviously, they're not going to work completely straight away. So he's obviously still going to look like this guy, despite no longer being that guy. Like I get it. It was a nice workaround because obviously it's a TV show. It has a budget. No matter what the budget is, they're going to have to find workarounds. But I thought the workarounds they did were quite smart.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not downing it for that. It was just kind of jarring for me when I saw it. I was like. But
it was weird, especially when you see like the artwork of John in the show. Yeah, and he has got pupils, and it's like, oh, this guy's just got eyes.
This is throwing me off, man, a little bit. Like I'm gonna be the first person to eat crow so far. Like I don't think the end of this season's gonna disappoint me after seeing all the episodes put together so far.
Especially after this one, it's just like, no, this show is they've done it.
Yeah,
they could end it right here. I'd be satisfied.
Perfect. Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna end this.
No, no, do I. No.
But I'll definitely eat crow on my previous comments. You know, I just when I made those comments about Lindelof, it's like you can't help but talk that way about somebody that has just continuously disappointed.
You're only going off your past experiences. No, it's perfect. People will be like, oh, he's done this one show. It's like, that's great, but he did 3 bad shows before that.
Yeah. But I mean, I didn't I don't want to bash. I didn't bash the guy so much as I just was questioning whether this was going to be the outlier in all his TV shows.
It's like, is he the right person for it, sort of thing?
But it obviously is. I mean,
he's definitely. I can say now he definitely is.
I'm glad, it's kind of a redemption for him because of all the, of what he's put out in the past. This kind of makes me go, okay, this guy is actually legitimate. He's good. All that stuff was maybe. I mean, all the stuff before could have been it could have been out of his control. Who knows? But this shows that he can actually tell a good story and not take a dump on it, basically.
And especially if you nail Watchmen, there's not a lot you can't.
Yeah, and
Watchmen is a hard thing, especially a sequel to Watchmen. That's a hard thing to pull off,
and it was polarizing for a long time, right?
People weren't on board with the show at all.
And then you go on for the people this. Just nothing was told about it. Even when that first trailer came out, I had zero clue what was going on. And at least I mean, they did it for a reason, I'm sure. But they nailed it, man. I think they didn't rely on past nostalgia to carry the show. I think they definitely got some. And the Sister Night story kind of picked up for me towards the end.
I was gonna say, it's you're eating crow. It's kind of her story was actually kind of important because she's the crux of the show.
Yeah,
it's maybe there is a reason for her to stay on now.
Yeah, and I love what they did with the last 2 episodes. That whole thing in Korea that was her, her how they met. I'm this is great, man. This is exactly what her story needed because up to this point.
I like how it was very much from John's perspective because it wasn't all linear, so obviously you're going to see things at different times.
Yeah, and it definitely I can't wait. This is probably going to be the one because I don't always buy physical media anymore, but I think this is probably going to be one of those exceptions when it comes to. He agrees to.
I was gonna say, is that an agree or is that a disagree? No.
He'd pick him up.
So if he disagrees, he obviously hasn't been watching it with you.
Oh, he is so off board, man. You're not a part of this family if you don't understand. You definitely see the Tristan in you when you say
that. But there's just so much, and they revealed so much in this.
And I think that's what they needed too, because there people are, and I don't know how they're gonna end this episode. I can't wait till Sunday to see how they. There's still kind of a slight percentage where they could flop it, but the gap of that happening is shrank.
It's shrunk, yeah.
It's shrank a lot because they gave you as much information they can as in the last 3 episodes. That kind of made
they've made the entire season make sense now.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of cool. I know what this show's about, or at least what this season was about. So I'm good with that. The only thing we don't know is Adrian still. No.
Yeah. Well, I think they focused on him for a long, long time in these shows. So I think we're gonna get the last episode is probably gonna focus. I don't know how long the episode is, the last episode, but
it's their longest one.
Okay.
It's longer than this week's one.
It almost has to be too, right? Because you gotta fill in a lot of more gaps. But I loved what I don't know. I love the whole Lady True thing. I'm very intrigued what her story is now.
Yeah, because we don't know what the whole Millennium Clock thing's about. What's going on with?
What's the odds of you? We have to find out what that is about, at least.
I assume so.
Right? Yeah. I do you think Laurie lives?
I hope so, because I like what they do with that character and how she is, and I don't think we've got enough of her. So hopefully,
somebody was telling me like the trailer for season 9, episode 9. It shows her with one of the 7th Cavalry, walking.
Now, here's the question: is it the 7th Cavalry or is that Looking Glass?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because we saw the 7th Cavalry in the thing in his little bunker, and one was missing a mask.
Yeah.
And there was no Looking Glass. So is he becoming the Rorschach now?
See, I think I like that too. I like
it makes sense for his character to take that.
Yeah.
And kind of like try and redeem that mask.
And he's not going to be like, what I like about him is like, I have a feeling that he is going to, because like I never really liked the Rorschach character all that much because it was just like that one note vengeance type character.
Are you not supposed to really like Rorschach? So,
but that seems to be the most popular character that came out of that series. I might not be right on that, but like,
oh no, you're 100% that one.
It seems like he's the most favorite character that came out of that series, but he's not supposed to be. Which is like
the Punisher. You're supposed to like him, but people idolize him. So
yeah, that's a good example. But yeah, I think I love Tim Blake Nelson though. I love what he did with the show in the show, man. So I definitely want to see him. Hopefully he's in season 2 too.
Yeah, but we saw Europa, which because he wasn't on Mars. That was just a decoy. It's
yeah.
Well, I'll go to Mars, but I'm bored already. I'll go to Europa, and I'll just make my own civilization and transport an entire castle because it's sentimental.
Because
I quite like the fact that he's this like omnipotent being, still has a bit of sentiment. Because he could have made that a complete replica, but no, he took the actual one there.
Yeah.
It was a nice layer of depth. But,
so, I mean, that could be like the human side of him, right? Like
he's still got a bit of that humanity there.
And
even though we know he does, because obviously he's in a relationship with Sister Night. I can't remember. Is it Angela her name? It
Angela, yeah.
I'm never too sure.
Have they I might have missed this, but like, did they ever explain the Games Master? Like I never.
Did you not see the post-credit scene?
No.
Oh man, right. After this, go watch it because it's a nice little bit. It's Vite in jail, and the Games Master shows up, and he's like they say it's essentially him telling you he was the first. He is the first little baby you see jumping up the water is the Games Master.
Okay,
and he's like because Adrian's reading the Fog Dancer novel.
The
book the Black Freighter guy wrote. So he's reading that. And he's like, it's my favorite book. It's about loneliness. What do you know about loneliness? And he's like, I was the first. It's like I've been here. I watched him make this in his blink of an eye, even though technically you didn't watch him because they showed the events happen and he made everything first. So, but whatever. So he's the first one. What happened to her? The first. Just her, we don't know.
I think we might. I think they'll revisit.
See, I can imagine that getting addressed. At some point.
In season 2. Like so, yeah, man. Like, do you think? What are the odds of Vite showing up in the last episode?
I think a lot because in that post-credit scene, there's another cake and it has 7 candles, but we know that each time we see the cake is a year from each other.
Yeah.
So we still got 3 years left because we know it's been a 10-year span because that's how long Manhattan and Angela were together for.
Yeah.
So the Vite stuff is 3 years behind. So I imagine the last episode is going to have a bit of a focus on that.
Yeah.
So like, where is he? And I imagine the Millennium Clock's going to be them bringing him back.
Yeah, the gate, so to speak.
So there's got to be some.
I still think Lady True is related to Vite. And I think that would be smart if that's the case. In some way.
I wouldn't be surprised. They seem to have a connection there. But then again, she still could be put like with the comedian. They could still take that route.
Well, like what made me think that is like when Vite disappeared and like her company was merging with the Vite Industries. It just seemed like because they went to Karnak to get his blessing. That's when they discovered that he wasn't there or he's missing.
Yeah.
So there has to be some type of relationship. in some way, because like it's not a hostile takeover if you're asking.
Yeah.
But like,
so I kind of wonder, because there's that revelation that the little girl's her mother.
Yeah.
And it's because it's like, are they gonna do something like that with Vite?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'll be disappointed if it's comedians, because that seems like kind of the
it's an easy route to go. So, oh, we have an Asian lady here. Let's make it the comedian's daughter.
And he has ties to the crew. Like, I think that would be kind of a disappointment if that's the case. Because like,
I've only just really noticed now that the comedian hasn't really played a part in this show.
I'm glad too, though.
It's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm kind of glad he hasn't. But...
because he's like, him and Rorschach are the two characters that kind of really pop out in the original comic, and like, other than that, like, I think the movie. I'm sorry.
The movie glorified,
but like, the comic really revolved around the comedian.
Yeah.
So I think that story has been told, though. I think if he shows up, it should be just like a picture or something, or mention. Yeah. I don't think he should be a part of the storyline, because it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like, why would
to be fair, in hindsight with this, I said the show don't make sense when it came out. They could very well have a story for season 2, and they're saving the comedian for that, and there could be something about it. But
yeah, no, for sure. Like, I don't want him not to be involved in the show, but I just don't want him to be he
hasn't got to be a focus. He's had his time.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't want him to be a huge part of the show. I think, or not a huge part, but I don't like season 1 seems really. It's been nice not seeing certain characters be focal point, because it could have been so easy for everybody, like, the show to focus on Rorschach because of they kind of like, it's like they like.
It would have been a crutch.
Yeah, exactly. And like, the 7 Cavalry is great on its own. Yeah. Great type of plot device on its own, without saying, they just pay homage to the character, saying, "Yeah, this is what we were inspired by," and that's it.
Everyone took the wrong lessons in that way.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I mean, look, I'm not opposed to having characters like that involved in any of the storylines. I just kind of don't want it to be like this whole season was just about getting to this point, and it has to do with, because like, up to this point there has been, it would be kind of a blindside if because this, like, I feel like Manhattan is a big focal point of the show. Like,
oh yeah,
I think he's
it literally revolves around him.
Yeah, and I think that's good. You have to kind of end the storyline with, like, if they just start mentioning the comedian out of nowhere, or it's just like, what? Yeah. Like, I didn't,
it would be a bit weird.
But I don't think they're gonna do that. I don't.
I think, like, at least if they do something like with the comedian in season 2, I don't think it'll come across as like they're just leaning on a crunch, because they waited that one season.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not opposed to it. I think this season has been perfect because of that. Like, it hasn't been like, relying too much on these characters. If they want to pull these characters into the next season or future seasons, I'm fine with that. It's just like, I think the characters from the old comics that they used so far have been used in an intelligent, great way.
Yeah.
Like, just to place the comedian in there, just to name drop him, is kind of like jarring for me.
So we are gonna do a massive. It'll probably be the only thing we talk about next week. Awesome. I say it'll be a toss up between Watchmen and Mandalorian, like it is in a minute. So, we're not going to talk about the Mandalorian, but the next week's show will have a focus on the Watchmen season as a whole, and then the one after that will be for Mando, or whenever Mandalorian finishes.
So one more thing, like, Senator Keene, what do you think?
Who's sorry?
Do you think Senator Keene will be succeed in this? Like, do you think they'll?
Ooh, I don't know. I can't tell where this show goes half time.
But, like, I mean, if they so say the last episode he's successful in being turned into Dr. Manhattan, or I think, I don't know, man. It's kind of they have to kind of address.
I'd say they hinted that it's possible for it to happen, but at the same time, when John's saying about he could theoretically pass his powers on, he's not sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe maybe we just get another squid thing going on.
We need more squid, people. Come on, super hentai.
And we saw a lot. That's another thing actually. I like how we saw Vite post and how it didn't really go his way, and he's like, I did all this, but no one cares, no one knows.
I mean,
I'm keeping this route a lot. I'm making it rain squids, but for what? Like,
for what?
It's just like no one cares.
It's just a weird It's become so normal. They probably got like squid umbrellas, for the.
So we had the squid rain once, and then nothing.
It's
like this is a recurring thing that happens. You'll never see it again.
Well, it's kind of fitting for his character because he thought he was going to change the world in some major way.
I prefer how this show's taken Vite's, like, I don't know what to call it.
His cause?
Yeah, as, like, the whole, Earth kind of, like, no one knows it was him. Whereas you look at Doomsday Clock, and we'll talk about Doomsday Clock next week as well. So, or the week after that, actually, I've got to catch up on it. Or we had to catch up on it.
Finally ending.
Yeah, it's only been 2 years. But in that, they had it so it only took like a month, and people knew it was Vite, and then Vite got arrested and everything. Well, I think that's a very generic vanilla idea to take that route. Whereas this, it's like no one, only a few people know that it was him. But he's just sitting there, and he's like, I haven't got my reward. Like, I saved everyone. Like, sure.
Well, I mean, it all goes to the fact that he's an egomaniac. Yeah. And, like, he says he doesn't want the praise. He said he did it for the right reasons. But deep down inside, he's doing it because either way, he can do it. Like, I mean, if you read the comic, he comes off as like he's a megalomaniac, and he thinks he's on the level of what Dr. Manhattan is. Like he thinks that he's on that same level, and he's not. Like in a blink of an eye, Manhattan could disintegrate him. Yeah. But he thinks that by doing this, that he's gonna get like monuments, and like they're gonna build statues and stuff like that. Yeah. They're gonna love him. It's like nah, things have changed, but nobody really knows who did it. So, and I think that's what's eating him alive is like the fact that he's not getting his quote unquote reward.
And then it makes it worse that he gets what he wants. He doesn't want it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's classic. He gets sent to Europa. Obviously, we know now how he got there and why he's there. And it's just I want out.
Yeah, it's classic megalomaniac type thing. He's like, he's never happy with what he gets. So, like, I could marry that with like political times. I mean,
it's very. Despite what this show says, it's very relevant.
Oh yeah.
Very meta commentary and everything.
I think it does it subtly, though. I don't think it does it as like a big.
Oh yeah, I don't find it like they even I say take the piss. It's not ridiculous, but like, when he shows up to Vite's place and he's like that, all this being in a black guy is a bit problematic in 2019. This whole appropriation thing.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
white Jewish guy, like no.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's kind of a smart thing by saying it's not really political when it's not like it's subtly political. It does. It's really relevant, but it's not like heavy-handedly relevant. It's not like hitting you over the head with all these things. It's just
it's not saying like look how relevant we are. It's like like everyone knows, and the show knows how relevant.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a smart viewer and you watch the show, you'll get it. You don't have to have like the writer going swinging his arms in the air and going, look at me. It's like the writing is good enough to where you can just suddenly tell like your story, and it could be relevant to the times.
Exactly. I just want Sunday.
Yeah, man. Sunday. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, if you would when you told me that we were talking about it when it first came out, it was like I never thought that I was gonna go, man, I can't wait to see the last episode.
Even if you go back to the episode episode 1 where we talked about it, it's kind of like it's all right. It's good. Like, what character development you've had?
Yeah, I mean, like they've done everything that I wanted, so far. That like I haven't had really a major gripe about the show, and like, I mean, look, like I said, I'll eat crow, man. Like I didn't necessarily like bash the show, but like I did question like whether or not like this was gonna succeed. But so far, pleasantly surprised. That's what it is.
Yeah, very pleasantly surprised. I would not have thought a month ago that this would be very much slightly in the lead for my favorite show of the year.
Oh yeah. It's definitely in that realm for me too. And I'm glad too. I'm just
competition is good.
Yeah. You good. I mean, competition always breeds great. I can't remember the thing.
Competition breeds creativity.
Yeah,
I believe to say. So speaking of the competition, The Mandalorian episode 6, I believe it was. Much better episode than last week. Much better. Love this one, even though it was I clocked the budget. It's like this is all set in one hallway basically, but the way they did it was fine. I really enjoyed how they did it. It was a very different episode to everything else. Still have the gripe of
the runtime, right?
the runtime was fine. It was 40 minutes. That's the least I expect. That's fine. But it's like, what is the show doing? Like, obviously, we have the Baby Yoda through line. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously protecting that. But, like, where's the show going? Is my thing.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get an answer for that for sure.
Well, I'd hope so. There's only an hour left.
Yeah. You're gonna get answers and you're gonna get questions. I think the questions are gonna set up this next season. But you're definitely gonna get what I think it does what it's supposed to do in that last episode.
That's what I like to hear, because I am enjoying this show. This is the one that's vying for my favorite show of the year, and it's been a good year for TV. We've had a lot of good nerdy adaptation culture stuff.
Yeah.
So
it's about time. I can just say that.
Yeah. It's very bad, most bad time. But no, it's the whole. It's felt more like a bounty hunter show than I think. Or it's the most bounty hunter has felt since the second episode.
Yeah.
From episode 3 to now, so those 3 episodes in between, it's very much kind of not diverted. Obviously, he's going to have to divert from being a bounty hunter show because he has a child. But it's nice, now the child and the bounty hunter stuff have been mixed together.
Yeah.
Obviously, that causes a problem.
And wackiness ensues.
Dave Filoni in the next wing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you like you said, you're gonna get a good. I think the next episode definitely gives you a kind of a cliffhanger. But it does what a really good show does. It answers questions while it poses new questions. So,
it answers a question with a question.
Exactly. Yeah. I just love the character. I love how it's just minimal. The guy doesn't. There's very little lines. I love just the feel of it. I don't mind heavy word. Characters, but this is just why would the guy talk so much? He does what he does and he says what he says. He doesn't necessarily go out of his way to say anything more than he needs to say.
So it also helped that this episode, the characters, while very cartoony, I think might be the right word for them, because this show very much is a cartoon format. They were strong characters without really knowing anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's they're obviously not really trusty bounty hunters. They say a couple of times that they've worked together before, and it's double cross because he left the brother behind that they were actually trying to get out, and then it all backfires because he's the Mandalorian.
I can't wait till next season starts, because everything I heard, they're gonna start digging more deeper into the culture of the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian.
Good, because I think you saying that and thinking about it, I think that's the point where the show hasn't dipped, but it's diverted. I use that word again. It's diverted away from the thing that I loved about it in the first few episodes. We haven't seen the Mandalorian stuff.
Well, I mean, I think
like there's obviously a reason for that because they went away and it's like, oh yeah, we'll let you know when we find a new place. But it's like, I want to know where's that new place? I want to know. Give me more of that Mando stuff.
You'll get more. You'll get more of that. I think those characters are not gone. Like they're definitely going to be.
Are they in the next two?
A little bit.
No, as long as they're there, I'm happy.
There's mentions. There's a mentioning of some of the characters. I think they're going to dive more into. You're going to see. I think next season you're going to see a little bit more of these characters more frequently.
Yeah.
I think it's just doing what every first season does. You got to build the world, expand it a little bit, and then after that, all these characters that they've introduced that are still alive or not, will show back up, and like, I mean, from what I've heard, the Gina Carano character is coming back next season.
I assume IG. Is it IG-88?
Yeah. Voiced by Taika himself.
The Taika droid.
That's almost a guaranteed because like it's a robot. He can come back.
Speaking of droids, IG-11. Thank you, chat. Speaking of droids, we have Richard Ayoade as the droid piloting the Razor Crest in this episode. I need more. I need far more of that because I never thought I needed him in a droid.
Yeah.
I need more. It's like
you gave
me a thing. You took the thing away. Give the thing back.
He's a great voice.
Baby Yoda with the little chrome ball. Like give it back. Like I want this thing.
He's got a great voice for sure. Like,
it's fantastic.
But yeah, I think the character will come back for sure. I don't like it's like from all I heard, like the character's a big hit, so like,
oh yeah,
why not?
That self-destruct thing for Taika's IG-11 is fantastic.
Well, I love that. I love the whole like the mannerisms of the character. It just was like it was quirkiness. It was very
Taika. It's a very Taika droid.
Well, it's that, and it's like the right type of quirkiness. It wasn't like it's not C-3PO. It's just like a snarky.
It's very Star Wars.
Well, it reminded me of K2S2, I think. From Rogue One.
K2SO.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that character a little bit in like the terms that it was just like snarky and like, but like I love that character. I can't wait to see it come back.
Something about snarky robots. Like,
like
they'll one day kill us all, but it's just like at least
robots with a little attitude is not bad. So, like it's the ones that are just deadpan, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like that's the scary ones.
Yeah.
The ones that have a sense of humor. You can go ahead and kill me later.
It's fine.
I'm okay with it. Go ahead.
But no, it's a very good episode. It was nice to see X-Wings.
Yeah.
That was cool. It's just like, I wasn't expecting that. That's cool.
You're also going to see a little bit more connections, like connective tissue in season 2. I think, like, I'm not saying Boba Fett's not going to be in it. I'm not going to say he's not, but like
I kind of hope that we never see Boba Fett again.
Me too. I kind of hope that it's not like, but it kind of would make sense in a way if he did show up. I understand. I would, but you know what I would love?
No, they scrapped the EU, and for all intents and purposes, I don't know if they brought him back in the Disney, the Marvel books recently, so I can't say this, but.
But I think if he came back, I would love for Mando just to kill him.
Oh,
that would be the best way
that
to bring him back.
That would piss off a lot of people, but
but I think, but like it makes sense because Boba is not a real Mandalorian.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
What would the real Mandalorian think of a guy posing as one of them? That's just like the right response would be a bolt right through the head, or through the stomach, or. Like
if season 2 is kind of like a let's rebuild Mandalore and all that sort of stuff, taking out like people like Boba Fett that would make sense.
And that's the only way I would want to see that character in that show is that if they were just and like I'm sure like you said upset a lot of people, but they'll get over it.
Hold on, that's right. They did do Boba Fett again, but it's not Boba Fett in that armor anymore. Or something else.
I mean, and that would lend to the fact that it'd be perfect to kill him off in the show that way.
I suppose since it's not Boba Fett, you could probably actually do more with that, but that's going to be a hard distinction to make for people, I reckon.
Yeah,
because you see those colors and people's like, yeah, it's Boba Fett. It's like, no, it's not. It's like, no, it's Boba Fett.
I think when that character was like introduced, I think it did like people like I don't think Lucas said, all right, this is going to be like one of the most popular guys ever. It just kind of fell that way because of the way it looks. But the problem is like people like that character for the wrong reasons. You know, like they don't like what has he done? Like specifically,
he died. That was it. He died.
He's failed to be a good bounty hunter except for one time.
I was like, he got the score and then died by a sandy butthole.
Yeah.
That's all he kind of did.
Basically fell into a vagina and
you know, a vagina dentata with tentacles.
But I like the design of the character, but I never liked the character because of that simple fact. Is like he was basically a failure. You know?
I'm supposed to have attachment to this guy? No.
Like I think people fell in love with the look of the character versus what the character does. You know, like.
And I'm always weird on the Mandalorian look. There's something like I can understand why people like gravitate towards the design, but there's part of me that's always kind of like I'm not sure if I like it. I think I like Mando's look more than it because it looks more uniform.
Yeah, it's minimalist too. It's just like Sorry,
like, it's not covered in different colors. It all matches. It just looks nice. It's clean. Whereas Boba Fett's just kind of like there's bits of yellow, there's green, there's grey. It's like
it looks like a garbage can, basically.
yeah.
But like
it looks like a 2-week-old food bin. No.
I think I like the Mandalorian look. I like the Mando's looks, like all of them. Like because what I liked about what the show did is it distinguished each character. They didn't all look the same.
Yeah, I think that's another thing as well. You know, there's as someone that hasn't done the Star Wars homework, he will when Disney Plus hits the UK. He might do it before actually, but he will do the homework at some point. It might be late, so my experience with Mandalorians is they all just look the same.
Yeah,
everything's the same. And obviously with this show, it's kind of like, they don't all. There are variations in Mandalorian.
But it's not your fault because like up to this point, the representation of a character has been very. Like the only characters you've seen is Jango and Boba, right? And like in the comics, they do kind of all look alike, you know. But the show does a good job of distinguishing each character, because like if you just walk around looking like the same, like nobody's gonna know who anybody else is, you know. Like I like one's big, one carries a heavy gun, you know. The other one has like a spike on it that just does it's just a specific. Each look has a specific thing, right? You know, I don't know. It all works out. You know, I think the show has done like.
It's done a lot. Yes, the episodes are short. Yes, it's not a long season, but it's done so much to flesh out that time period.
Yeah,
and it's even just like. Yeah, like even just like last episode, like what that did for the world. Like, yes, it was in Tatooine, but that bar we know famously didn't accept droids. There was nothing but droids in there apart from one person. So that tiny little detail just built up everything so well. It was just like,
I just was disappointed that we didn't see the guy, the butt face guy with missing arm.
Same.
I would have been like A+.
But maybe they don't serve their kind there.
Maybe. I mean, maybe he's not alive anymore. I mean, like that did look really bad, an infection. But like,
how that arm bled, I'll never know. It's like you have a fire, a very hot sword, like
cauterizing.
Like you bleed. Make no sense.
But I like my biggest thing about I like the show is like up to this point people had the idea that Mandalorians were just like unstoppable forces and like they did know they had everything planned out but this guy is like fallible. You make mistakes, which is like real, right? Even military people, like even the most militaristic, like I know people that are Navy SEALs, right? And they've made wrong decisions in the field, like they've been hit, and they don't walk around like it's not like an 80s action movie where like everything's planned out and like
I say being impervious isn't fun to watch.
Yeah, because you know that the guy's never gonna get hit, but I definitely like the fact that they make him kind of fallible, like that he made mistakes.
It's
but he's still badass.
Who was the Devil Horn guy? Was it Clancy Brown? Was it?
Yeah, Clancy.
Yeah. Like he threw Mando around like a bag of
a rag doll.
Bag of is what I was going to say, but it's like that's how you do the guy that always wins, right? He's going to take some few hits. He's going to have this. He's just one guy. Doesn't matter who he's against. Like it could be five.
One guy and a Yoda, like a miniature Yoda, running around.
That little scene where he's like, he just goes to do the Force thing, and he's like, "Did I do that?" It's just like, "Oh no, you shot him in the back of the head."
I think. I mean, that's another thing, man. Like that Baby Yoda thing has just been like, oh god, like
it's nuts. It's absolute, and the fact that people are now freaking out that the Baby Yoda or the child, as it's classed, is an icon on Disney Plus. It's like it's an icon on Disney Plus. Who cares? It's like, no, it's Baby Yoda. I need it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, like once those toys hit, man, people are gonna be like flipping out for those things, man.
I'm not even gonna bother looking because what's the point? No,
I don't collect plushes, so but I don't know.
But I would have Baby
Yoda. But like, yeah, that character is going to be very interesting. Like,
I say, so you obviously you're not going to say it anyway, but I assume it's not like the season ends and they're split up. There's no way they keep these two apart, especially now with the reception. Like, he's got to be in season 2.
I mean, look, it's.
I don't like how you're answering this.
No. I mean, like,
it's very depressing to me. It's like, oh.
No. I mean, like the character blew up, man. Like, they're not going to just not have that character in season 2. That's kind of crazy, right?
That's
like,
what I want.
You kind of want that character in some capacity in the next season. Like, there's just it wouldn't make any sense if, like, we're gonna give you something, everybody loves it. Like, my mom knows about Baby Yoda, my mom, and like you don't want to just throw that character away.
Yeah.
There's plans.
I need to see him grow up into a Mandalorian.
I mean, and there's plans for that character for sure. There's, I mean, you don't introduce a character like that and then just do nothing with it, because, I mean, this is a pretty big moment in the Star Wars community, because that character is pretty rare, right? There's only been 3 with him total that have been shown. So like you don't take a character like that and say, we're done with him.
Also, it's a very rare character in Star Wars in general.
Yeah.
Because everyone looks at it and goes, "What is that?"
Yeah. And they have
no one seems to know. So I assume it's got to be a revelation in this series. Or this season, not series, I should say.
They know what they have. They're not gonna just throw it away. Like, this is just it's always gonna have a plan with that character, because it's so big. Like, it's just like, again,
it's ironically big for something so small.
Yeah. But I love the character. Looks gorgeous, like CGI wise. Like it.
Well, I assume it's a puppet, isn't it?
It's I think it's a puppet, like a physical thing in some places, but there's also like a CGI version when they need it, and I'm sure it's enhanced by CGI, the puppets.
Oh yeah, I assume there's a lot of CGI to it.
Like, I think this is like probably one of the shows that trying to introduce like actually using physical things instead of just CGI-ing everything into a like a non-existent place. But like the ship is, there's practical ships. So like it, I don't know. It's gonna be great, man. Like, I think it's gonna open, like, it's opening. Next season might open the door for a bunch of other stuff to be introduced in the next, these other Star Wars shows.
Get a certain Doctor in there at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like, that character.
Actually, would that character be around?
I don't think it would be. I think that the comics take place between New Hope and Empire.
And this is 5 years after.
5 years after, and like, not to say that they would. I think they would try to make it more accessible to people that know the property, so they might start it within that timeline.
Yeah.
Like
I suppose you could bring that character into this, and like,
kind of
just then backtrack.
Yeah, well, that's what they're planning
show.
to do with a couple characters. The Ahsoka might be in season 2. Did I say something?
Oh no, it's just you saying every season. It's just like
yeah. Well, I mean, this show is being developed and it's actively being developed, but the problem with the character is like it's not really.
She's tell a lot of story.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, that and they have to. I think they have to introduce the character.
Somewhere,
and they can't just throw him into a show, because as popular as she is, there's still the main.
She's obscure to the general audience.
Yeah,
but again, at the same time, is that really much of a problem now? I suppose Marvel's kind of earned the fact they can just throw out any obscure character, but like Star Wars is kind of a different story because it's a very different style of movie. But
that and Star Wars has got a lot of. I think it has a lot of not in my book, but there's some good faith that needs to be
I think it might not necessarily be faith. I think it's for the larger audience that doesn't care about the man children crying about space wizards. It's a very different property.
Yeah.
So how people know Marvel, people know comic books, and there's thousands of people in there. The general audience doesn't know Star Wars has that.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's kind of it'll be weird to be like, hey, here's Ahsoka Tano or Ahsoka, how you pronounce that woman's name.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's she has all this story, and we're just gonna glance over this, and she's this way now. It's just you got to tread lightly.
It's jarring. It's kind of jarring for the normies to. They want it to be a little bit more accessible to the normies.
See, this is where comics, the editor's notes in comics would work wonders in shows like this. Just be like, have her introduced, and then a little box at the bottom, be like, go watch Clone Wars.
Yeah. I mean, who's to say they don't do that? I think that's a smart idea to kind of use the comics as an advertising tool.
I suppose in the same way, you haven't. The episode finished. Say you bring her in, the episode's finished, and then at the end you just recommend her arc in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
You do it that way.
Well, I mean,
you get done that.
I mean, and it's a good thing that the Clone Wars are somewhat available on the streaming service, because people can go back and say, hey, yeah, I watched some of the earlier stories. I don't know. It's the shows that are coming out. I think out of all the ones that I know are in development, I think the Darth Maul one is the only one that's more mainstream. People know who that is.
Yeah.
And then you got they're looking into a Baze. I can never pronounce that guy's name, but from Rogue One.
The only guy from Rogue One I know is Cassian.
Well, there's the characters of Baze and Chewie. They're the
I'm one with the Force. The Force is
exactly.
That would be a cool show.
They are developing that show.
Shira and Baze.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of backstory. They were talking about developing a show before Rogue One that kind of fills in the gaps of the followers of the will.
Make them characters I care about, please, because the movie didn't do that. No, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did what they could with the characters in the movies, but now that they have a more accessible platform to do this stuff, I think it'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Mandalorian, this episode, I really do.
Fantastic.
It was a very not different type of episode, but I think for the show, it was a very different type of episode for the show.
Yeah.
Specifically.
And each episode kind of feels different from the other one before it. It's
as I keep saying, it's very much like cartoon format. Where it's you have your little through line, but it's very much a different episode style each week.
Kind of there's an overarching, but there's a different plot, to each story.
Adventure of the week.
Yes.
Format, which I always associate with cartoons.
Yeah, or I mean procedural. If you
I suppose. I always think procedural I suppose it is just here's a thing. Yeah. That's
I mean, but like the adventure of the week is not a bad like way to describe.
No. It's a good format for what they're trying to do with the show.
Yeah. I mean, or at least trying to introduce like who's to say next season doesn't turn kind of like evolve into a different type of show.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like this is just kind of a testing ground to see who. I mean, it was going to be successful regardless. I think
it's the first Star Wars show. Like it was always going to be huge.
Yeah. Well, and they also did a lot of they did a lot to advertise that like they did what they could to make the show like I don't know like I'm trying to describe the word but they did a great job of to advertising the show and they gave you an idea of what the show is going to be about. You know, I think every interview that I've ever seen about that show has been like point on. There hasn't been one like interview where I'm like, what? That's not what it was like. You know, like
yeah,
like it. But like you know, every description of the show like up to this point was great. You know.
That it was. So we've only got 2 episodes after that left. Obviously, they brought the next week's forward because it's now before the movie comes out, or depending where you are, it's the same day as the movie comes out. So that's gonna be a week.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting week for Star Wars fans.
So luckily, I see it on the 19th, so I have this before and then the movie afterwards.
So do you guys get it? You get it early, right?
I get it on the 19th. Yeah.
19th. Okay.
I think you guys get on the 19th as well. I'm not sure.
I like when movies do that. They're just like it's not like you get it before us or we get it before you. It all kind of like falls into place where, because like that's a big problem. I hate that because like I hate, you know.
And so like, in this day and age, just staggered release is nuts, especially with like spoiler culture and everything.
Yeah, like the minute the internet was born, that should have been then. Like,
yeah, it's just like oh no, like but no, it's gonna be a very good week for Star Wars fans. Though you're getting fed,
yes,
like kings.
Consider this your Thanksgiving dinner,
and Christmas in one.
And Christmas too. It's
a lot of turkey. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna bring us to the show. So not bad, an hour and a half for 2 bits of news and 2 shows. I
mean, like, not one time did I babble on for like 15, like any amount of time where people were like, "What? Is the guy having a stroke?"
Very tangent free this episode, so that's something. But so yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone, and we will catch you all next week for the big Watchmen, big Watchmen extravaganza or Watchapalooza, what do you want to call it?
Naked blue people all over the place.
It was a massive kudos to I can't pronounce the guy's name.
So glad.
What's he called?
I forget his name too. But like, I'm glad that they did that, not just put him in the blue undies, you know.
Yeah, that's
go all the way, man. To throw it to the wall, like
salute that. If it was CG, then I'd be disappointed. But if that's legit, salute. Well done.
All I can say is that blue dildo she pulled out
is accurate.
Pretty accurate.
It's like, oh wow, they actually molded the guy. Like, well done, you.
Sure, that wasn't a porn star that was doubling for him. Pretty big.
That is the definition of #blessed.
They pulled out the prosthetic, guy from Boogie Nights, just for this spray painted the blue and said, "All right, you."
You are John. Go.
Go.
So yeah, we'll end it on the blue peen talk. So bye.
Later.